chance anytime.
For some reason, it was a Monday that I found out about it. And for some reason, I didn't know until I got to school. And I remember my first class during the day was gym class. And I went to gym class, and everyone was so sad and so down. And I went up to one girl, and I said, "What is wrong? What's everyone acting like this for?" And they said, "Well, didn't you hear?" And I go, "No." And they said, "Well, James Dean had a car accident. I guess it was the day before. For me not to know, it must have been the day before." And he's dead. And I could hardly believe it, because it was about the second celebrity that I ever really liked, because I was I was about 13 or 14, something like that, when it happened. And I just started liking movie stars, So I felt really sad. Everyone acted like they were just totally grief-stricken, really. So right after that, everything came out with his picture on it and all this, So I ordered this gold medallion that had Jimmy Dean's picture etched on it, and it had the date he was born and the date he died and everything. And I ordered one of those for myself and for a few of my friends, and we wore them. But I remember exactly what I wore to school that day. So, I wore a pink sweater and a black skirt. And at the time I heard about it, I was in gym class. And it's just like that whole day, it's just outstanding in my mind. Remember, I saw all his movies, and then after he died, I went and saw them all again.
Well, it's really great to see so many people here. I can remember when you said James Dean, and you could have a hard time scaring up a couple carloads. But there's nowhere in the world that a week doesn't go by that somebody doesn't pick up a picture or see a movie or read something about James Dean. And I'm awful proud that he was an American. I'm even prouder than that he was Hoosier. And from right up the road here, just a piece. So we'll be back every year, like I hope all you folks will. And all of our kids, all of their kids, could be James Dean fans. So it's nice to see y'all. And we'll be ready whenever you are to take the walk to the cemetery. Thank you.
These came from Bob Pulley. That one didn't. These two did. This is an original picture of the grave.
The one before it was swiped?
Yeah, this is an original photo in 1955. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the pallbearers for James Dean.
Is he in that picture?
Yeah, he's this one right in here, I believe. He's in the back.
They would take, see this work, I've got all the names on it. See, Dean's on one end and Pulley's on the other. Of course, they got them reversed. Of course, they'd let him use it, when he got old enough to drive. If he wanted to come to town, didn't want to ride his sickle. Or they'd let him use the car and for dates and different things.
Did he ever give you ride on his horse?
Oh yeah, I rode on that a lot.
What was it like riding with him?
Hell's Angels, I think. What he'd do, he'd stop and then he'd do a wheelie and throw you off. slide off the back and see there wasn't much on there to write on. Then he'd turn around and come back and sit there and laugh at you. Sometimes, you know, it'd make you mad.
Picture right here is done by Kenneth Kendall. He said that he didn't know it at the time, but, well, he did with a racing flag too instead of the regular flag. But when he painted it, he didn't realize it at the time, but his shirt spells Jimmy across there. See the Jimmy? And Kenneth Kendall said that James Dean signed his own picture. And got when Martin Sheen was here in 1980. This is Hortense and Adeline. This is in the People magazine. That's a really nice photo. I really like that. It's just a collage of pictures. This is the museum pictures. Over in Dayton, Ohio, they had rebel bears, and they had little bears with leather jackets on, you know. And it said James Bear or something like that. And then they had Landley Bear. I thought it was really neat. It's fun though, interesting. I gotta get another scrapbook. I've got my whole walls though at home are nothing but James Dean memorabilia and posters. And
some more of the old articles. And see, you can't even see me in that one. I'm hid behind him. These are out of the original papers too, see. I don't know why I saved them all. Of course, these are, you can tell the difference, see?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And here, I've never seen one of these or not.
What is that?
This is that program that I used to be in New York.
Wow. No, I never
These
seen
are the ones, who handed those out? Was it Marilyn Monroe or Liz Taylor? One of them handed these out.
Oh, wow.
Because Dave said her fingerprints should be on them. See?
Gosh.
This is one of the most positive things in your life, you know, that this man really did something for you. He made you feel somehow better about yourself because of what happened between you and him somehow. So, hey, you can't knock that. If somebody makes you a better person somehow, that's good, not bad. But a lot of people can't understand that, and I wouldn't expect them to. That's the problem, or the bottom line. I don't expect people to. So it's almost as if I've had to take this thing in my life and sort of suck it inside. And when I'm here, I can be myself, and I can let all of my stuff happen out here. But anywhere else, it's really...
Green and white.
Wow, I wish I had.
Green and white with green interior. And we drove down to Fairmount in that car. And when we got there...
And somebody admired it?
Yeah. We couldn't find his gravestone because at that time that one had been stolen. So there was nothing there but just the concrete block.
That was 30 years, like, almost, since it started.
85 was the 30th year, yeah. So then we asked this old guy who was working there if he could help us find it. And he's like, yeah, for $5 I can help you. And we're like, oh, but we'll just drive around. We'll find it, I'm sure. He's like, no, yeah, he did. And then he's like, no, I'll tell you where it's at. And we're like, okay. Then we asked him. At that time, I just wanted to talk to somebody who knew him because I didn't.
And this
I've
guy
never.
knew him?
This guy knew who he was, and he was real old. He knew who he was. He just worked at the cemetery, like groundskeeper.
Jimmy was up for an Oscar, you know, while he was still in time. And of course, he didn't get it. But then I made that little orchid then. I made this for an Oscar. And then I entitled this an Oscar for Jimmy, see? And a lot of people, when I would tell them that I did have it in color, but I never could find it, they say, hell, you never had it in color in the first place. And a lot of people are critical. You have to learn to put up with it, of course. And so when I came across this, I thought, well, the Lord is with me because, by golly, here I've been dreaming about these and dreaming about them. And it couldn't, I wish it had happened, you know, about a couple of weeks ago when I first started going through the boxes, because I'd like to have gone over and had a bunch of prints made off of these, and then I could have sold them, see, because they're little prints, you know. So I give everybody that comes to put them for a room, I give them one of those little prints. But that turned out pretty good, I thought.
He used to go out by himself. I'll tell you something he liked to do. Yes. He liked to play pool, and he'd shoot your eyeballs. He's got a friend that's usually an old friend who lives up in Fort Wayne, another one that was raised out in his community. He's usually here. He's not here. Bob Middleton. Bob tried, I expect, 10 years to beat Jimmy in a game of pool, never got it done. And Bob was a good pool player. I wasn't. Loved to play pool.
Since 1955?
I was a senior in high school.
And he
He died
died?
on my birthday. I just turned. I was 18 years old, September 30th. And he died that day. Because I didn't know about, I live in a small town.
Where are you from?
Leota, Kansas. Just a small school town. My hometown's about the size of Fairmount.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any of his movies by that time?
I'd only seen East of Eden in high school. When I was in high school, I think that's the only movie I played, early.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only movie that was shown.
In high school, we used to go around saying, well then, there now, well, now, there, then, because that was from Rebel, so I guess we saw Rebel too in high school. I was a senior. But I've seen Rebel. East of Eden's my favorite movie. For 20 years, I thought maybe I was the only James Dean fan in the world because I didn't know any other fans. I never met another Dean fan.
You didn't come out here?
I didn't come here until 1980.
Oh.
And I just happened to be passing through with a friend of mine. We're going to Dayton, Ohio, to the Air Force Museum. We stopped here, and I always wanted to get here. I just never made it. In 1980, I joined the James Dean fan club. At that time, there was only one major fan club. Since then, it's split in two. Now, Sylvia has one in California, and Greg has one here in Indiana. That's really the only two fan clubs, big major fan clubs in the country right now.
Just the way he acted, I guess, and everything.
I mean, like when you see that TV stuff he did, like how they did like melodramatic stuff, and he was like really it. He's like really there.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor.
Well, I'm Hugh Coho, Fairmount, Indiana. Fairmount High School, 1944 to 1970 something.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did have Jimmy Dean in biology and in 4-H club work. In 4-H club, he did that soil sample you saw down at the museum.
Mm-hmm.
In biology, well, no proof of anything. I don't know about that. He survived. Yeah. Bright. And that's
Jim Grindle and Bright and
Bright.
Phil.
Where's Jim? There's Taylor. Phil Butcher and Taylor. That looks like a heater. Don't know that kid. Vincent Barnique. Oh, well, here's the names down here. Goodness sake. Wayne Metzler, Jimmy Dean, Rex Bright, James Grindle. Oh, now that they tell me, I can recognize him. Vincent Barnique. Only I always called him Barnicue at school. Estes McClintock, yeah. Eldon Heater, Roy Taylor. I'll bet that was a... No, that would be a varsity, wouldn't it? Or a second string, whichever. I was going to say, I bet that was a class team, but probably not. Huh. See, they had to order these trophies and such and awards, at least 6 months ahead of time. Well, since no one had ever exhibited in soils, well, they didn't have anything to give Jimmy for his soils work. So in the livestock part, The only grand champion they had left out of that was in the Guernsey cattle divisions had one for Guernsey bulls. Well, they didn't have any Guernsey bulls. So they had a grand champion rosette ribbon left over from the Guernsey Bull show. Now, you guess where that grand champion Guernsey, even in one of the last, I guess it'd be retelling of something somebody read. Why, they said, yeah, that Jimmy was very active. He even showed Guernsey cattle, had a grand champion Guernsey bull. Well, that ribbon went to Jimmy for his exhibiting the grand champion soils exhibit.
Wow.
You mentioned he had a good sense of humor. He did have.
Yeah.
And he thought that was fun.
Yeah.
He got a grand champion Guernsey bull rosette ribbon for his soils grand champion.
That's wonderful. It is.
But they still, this happened just this spring sometime. I read where somebody had retold the wrong story. You got the right one, because I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was too busy, getting his body in shape. That great body of his. His shoulders real great.
In the 60s, in 65, 66, I interviewed beat poets out in New York, and of course they'd bring up James Dean, and all of them said, people have a view of James Dean, but he was the Fairmont boy, because they tried to introduce him to things, because the way he acted tough. They mixed him up with his roles, and he says he shied away from any of that kind of thing.
That's right.
And they said maybe the reason he got into reading things is because through reading, he could experience them without having to be confronted with them directly. But if a group of people like the Beat, he hung around a lot of Beat poets, I think because of their language. And when they would introduce him to things, they said he would be shocked by it, and they could tell it. And so he said he'd never go a second time. He'd experience things, but he'd never go a second time. And they said he was a bookworm, though.
Do you think James Dean actually studied here?
I hope yes. I have no actual proof of whether he did or not.
He probably did. I mean, that's.
You know, it was. I'm trying to think who the librarian would have been in the late 40s. I believe it might have been Mrs. LaRue. There is a plaque on front of the circulation desk in her memory, just a few inches away from you, in the center. And she may have been the librarian when James Dean was in high school. That's only a guess, but she might have helped him with something, some type of reading material.
Am I really into James Dean? And I realized, wow, yeah, I am. And I looked around my room, and so I had a couple of books, I had a bunch of pictures, and it's like, yeah, wow. And it's like a sudden realization. When I'm 18 years old, it's like, yeah, I'm into James Dean. And so like for a while, it was just like, yeah, he's just this 50s cult hero. But then recently, since I met Yo-Yo over there, it's like, he's not part of the 50s. He's just this eternal kind of person, like.
Because his image had been that of being very misunderstood and alone and just doing what he wants. And people that felt misunderstood thought that he might understand them.
See that? That's Jimmy. This is Jimmy's graduation picture. But when Jimmy was 5 years old, he drew that. So there you talk about this artistic ability.
Oh, gosh.
Only that's a cow, I think.
I think.
Looks like a turtle.
Be a horse or
I guess we got several more contestants. This is the biggest look-alike contest we've had in the last few years. Let's find out who this gentleman is. Your name, sir?
Roger Bassett.
And you're from? Chicago. From Chicago. Everybody, let's take a look at Roger from Chicago. Let's hear it for Roger from Chicago. Here with us tonight. Another contestant. And this gentleman is
Scott Spaulding from Denver, Colorado.
from Denver, Colorado. Let's everybody take a look at Scott from Denver.
My well came in, baby.
Let's hear it for Scott from Denver, Colorado. Here with us now. Well, what do you think of the contestants so far, huh? Fantastic. Well, it's going to be tough for the judges here this year. Okay, our next contestant, let's find out who we have. Your name, sir?
My name's Bob. I don't look anything like James Dean. My back does. My back looks just like James Dean.
Your back looks just like James Dean.
My back looks exactly like James Dean.
Okay, we'll let you demonstrate that. All right, where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
From New Jersey. Why the tattoo?
What's that?
Why the tattoo?
It's a living memorial to James Dean. Look at all these people. They love James Dean.
Let's hear it from him. Thank you very much. Well, we're having a good time tonight, aren't we? Let's find out who's next. Your name, sir?
John Thompson.
And you're from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Here's John from Chicago, Illinois. Let's take a look at him, ladies. Let's hear it for John from Chicago. Thank you. Okay, now we don't want any of these contestants to go away because after everybody's seen individually, we're going to have everybody back out on the stage all at one time. Let's find out who we have here. Your name?
Andy Meister.
And you're from? From Bloomington, Indiana. Everybody, let's take a look at Danny. Huh? There's Danny from Bloomington, Indiana. We got one more contestant here. And your name, sir?
Dave Ranger from South Bend, Indiana.
Dave from where now?
South Bend, Indiana.
From South Bend, Indiana. All right, let's take a look at Dave from South Bend. From South Bend, Indiana. Okay, what do you say we bring them all back out on stage? All right, Joe, we'd like for you all to come out and line up along this line if you would here, all right? Oh, we need to move down just a little bit more. We got a couple more. Ladies and gentlemen, here are our James Dean contestants for 1986. Do you think we ought to have them turn around? Turn around so we can see behind here. Okay. Let's turn back around here so the TV cameras can get a look at you. We have all of these contestants. Judges, how you doing? Huh? The judges says, it's tough. let's go down through, see if I can go down through and find out who they all are once again and where they're from. See if we can do this without getting feedback. You are?
Scott from Denver.
Scott from Denver.
TJ from New York.
All right.
Skyler from Chicago.
And?
Junior from Logansport.
Michael from California.
John from Chicago.
And?
Laszlo from Chicago.
And
Kansas all day.
this is something else now. These judges have got a tough job ahead of them, don't you think? Everybody's shouting out their favorites. Lots of favorites. I'm going to get with the judges now. The judges would like Larry from Bloomington. Gentlemen, we'd like to see you move around just a little bit if you will, all right? Okay, we're going to have one of the judges come in here and announce the winner. I'm going to put you on the spot. And the winner for this year's James Dean Lookalike Contest is Larry from Cook.